right? Same on the same the 야고지 송도비나 아니 신다 담한다 쉬우지 지구에요 말을 나가요 그랬어.
Yeah. It is said in the teaching that if one is able to guard one's mind well, one doesn't need to bother about too much else.
당한서 만차 심래야 더나마셔야지 치료 네 배전 쉬우지 지기요 그랬어.
Most of us, however, do not pay such attention to our mind. We are fixated on these external things.
아니 지단다로 안가란서 메제스니 디나라 메제나래야. 가디네 야고 영어 말해서 아 가디네 다시버지 용약해요 말해서 코베네 갑들로
Yeah.
먼저 낭박이 코알라 그래서 코라스디 꼬라자 지티기 열라고 그래서 꼬라 가리자고 올라더니 미레 레뇽기 시와 레다뇽몽기 먼저 규지어봐 먼저 규 먼저 루비데기 규고랑 레다 뇽몽라 되는 총이다 엔데부데 툭툭툭도야 다 툭거든데 용거 다 들라 툭거들라 툭 치중 담만다요 다 툭거들라 아니 에 가시 베다 메드코랑에 베 녀그다 잔잔 세제 되는 여든데로 가시네야 메드코들라야 시바르야 메드메들 녀그다 차디야 아 가시야 지 쇼베지오에 나 건다 죽된 줄 어딘데 세제 메즈 근데 누구야 레스로 하다 메즈 근데 도디 상갈라 이내 먼저 다 메즈 근데 레샤 다 아카다 탑시 민도로 코와나라 동이 양고로 세거든 근데 말해서 돼 수수 배전 체외이나 동을에 타야 요르스로
Laru. So, in the context then of this life, it's the case that things don't always go to plan, things don't always go well. And then from the perspective of Buddha Dharma, we would call this samsara or cyclic existence. The way that we go round and round in the human condition. And the reason is that we are under the control of karma and emotions which are invalid or afflicted mental states. And really, if you look at our body, our physical body, that is the product of karma and emotions, afflictive emotions. And as a result of that, we tend to project or hallucinate. We make mistakes. Some people make big mistakes, and some people make small ones. There are so many varieties of mistakes. For example, there are some people in the context of their life that just go out to make trouble, it seems. And then some people's lives start peaceful, but then become, upset towards the latter part of their life. And then there are even those who start well in the morning, but by the evening it hasn't gone so well. So the context of our life is like that. But then if you were to ask, does that always have to be the case? Is there a method by which we can go beyond the cycle, the ignorant cycle of suffering? It doesn't always have to be the case. With effort, there is liberation from that suffering. No.
Again, I share you my story. I have experienced. I met one in Kiwi, I think 7 years ago, and I met and he came here. At that time, I think he been here volunteer maybe 3 days, and then he learned in meditation 3 days, 3 days. And then I think I don't remember. He's that time. I told him. Usually I quite often talking. Don't drinking alcohol and drugs, those things. I think exactly he heard that. That time he and his friends dealing with alcohol. Lots go to Fred and Ed. Sometimes this is not enough. Then they do lots of eating mushrooms and those drugs, those things. And and then he said, "Oh, this is not really right." He told his friend, "I think we doing is not really right, you know." And this is the manga talking. I think few long time is no good for. They're drinking alcohol, lots drinking alcohol. A little bit of money, drinking alcohol. A little bit of money, drinking alcohol. They have become alcohol friend, you know. And then I think this we try try to meditation, you know. And he friends say, yeah, your mind is gone, you know. No, this is wonderful, you know. Like, and he friend never listening to him. And then Sims recently I met this friend, and he said nearly 7 years ago, and he stopped that in 7 years, stopped drinking alcohol, and he tried to meditation on natural, calm, and now his friend lost liver. Doctor said you lost liver. Now his friend wanted to practice Buddhist stop alcohol. A little bit too late. Stop alcohol too late because the liver already gone. Liver what?
Liver.
Gone. And I went, wow, this, you know, this is here. I met here this person too. And now learning meditation, it's very good. How many days? Maybe 5 days, 1 week. Doctor said, short term. Liver gone, quickly dead, you know. 세상에 된다 저런저라 곰 자고래서 나 치료 그지 시다 배준 지기요 말라 김전 데레스로.
That's the reason I don't encourage you to like force others to always meditate. Don't push it.
가시 좋아다 가요 말에 세미나로 강의다 마지베요 탈랑 캠에서네 장동 제도야 맨산의 제도야 나 템바제야 탑시시고라 근데 누가 예사서는 강에 대대대요. 강에 대도 아니 제라 디 알코올릭 단 알코올릭 들레제 아니 요다 되올레라.
Not to blame, isn't it? People think there's no method to get rid of mental upset, so they recourse to alcohol, drugs to forget their problems. But what happens is when the potency of the drugs and alcohol runs out, they're still left with a mental problem. Suffering's still there.
More extra than alcoholic.
Yeah, and then that becomes addiction.
어디 용구로?
Yeah.
제가 딱 안아서 저런서 때 빼어버려 대 곰로 담아시. 야, 네 뇌계전 년바 용어디 야고를 나게매다. 저런서 더 나체 어디 야고를.
Yeah, and I think you're good. You have interest in meditation that you've come here. I'm not saying you're good just because you've come to listen to me, not like that, but because your interest is there.
곰 잡시디야 가시에 믹좀 가가 대야질라다. 되게 난다 강해들랑서 강해들 회시다 더 말해서.
And then some people think meditation is just sitting still, closing your eyes. Well, that doesn't really get rid of mental issues either. It's not like that.
데 저는 저걸라 나 곰자기 사제 믹좀제 대대. 아니 곰야 자사데 양롱대제는 저거 저는 곰들 내가 지금
You could kind of close your eyes and it could appear to your friends that you're meditating. But then when you stop meditation and you're just as angry as before, your friend will say, that didn't really work, did it?
제가 가시 인데 내가 낭바에서 미상업에 야고를 인거 알아 카에만 저는 미 낭바 미 야고든데 통바 인자 다 낭바이나 왜 낭바 차잖아 배 야고로 차 하고도 타와다 안디로 타자를 konsanada 배 산제로지 인버상 당거다 디페 노레스.
Some people might think that, you know, when they meet a Buddhist, all Buddhists are good. In that context, you know, because they've become Buddhist. And then when you see ordained like monks and nuns, you might think that they're all Buddhas, they're all enlightened.
그래서 다제 권이 야구 차게는 날 다제 태웠는데 영해 야구.
So then if it's just the fact that you take robes to be better than someone, then that's all it needs.
근데 전화절 권한 날 예스 네 야구.
Yeah. So if you want that, then I'll be better, kind of.
And you know, first I become monk. I wearing this. Monk person, same, you know. Clothes change, just clothes change. Changing monk is takes time. Need patience. And 곰 나 미투제 로전 저기 있나 달로 아니 칼로망고지라 아니 수수수다 내당 가셔라 아니 요네 지다 다 딩어 데스 조데스 도샤 삼삼데 용거레스로
Meditation and study is a continual process. You have to do it over time, and then the reality you might see is that there's been some change in my mind.
아니 저한테 도고드제 다 저한테's 맨날 차샤셔야 되는데 용거를 다 로망고지 용거를 남산 용거 말해서
And then friends might comment, there's been some kind of change in you. But this normally happens not at once, but over a sustained period of years.
당은서 다리 둔다 되라 아니 저 되면서 다 지난 먼저 고소디 셈바상보로 메제나는 저 셈바상보 쳐야 돼 자와래로 되라 chanjuga simse laguyor에 딱 그러냐면 셈바상보 제야 되다 메제나게 간서 닝부로 버디 딱 말아이나 되지게 요스로 이렇게 전부 레스트 간다.
In the context of this week, then essentially we're looking at cultivating a good heart, kind heart. In the context of this life, it is the very essence of it. We call it bodhicitta. Anyway, the essence of this life, I always encourage that.
다 셈바상보체 셈바상보체가 밀라펜도체 아니 밀지다지 총어나 강연들에 되더니 쇠센체 셈바상보체가 탑람라 아니 탑시 망고 쉬우지요다 기성어망도 짐바 수dim도 다 되는 쇠베게 거더니 아니 수수심 상보지나고 다디 대시에비나 배진 야고 얘기를 듣는 것으로
So really the heart of altruism, the wish to benefit others, one has to cultivate patience with difficulty. But there are so many methods to cultivate a kind heart. But over the context of this course, we've been looking at the perfections. We looked at generosity, ethics. This week, probably good to discuss in light of the third one, patience, forbearance.
세상다 먼저 저보고 제 콘돔에서 내다 미망고지 로 먼저 쓰이네 미 콘도 사월라 가고 지금은 다 알아요.
Yeah. Now that ability to meditate on patience, to not be angry, is something that we all respect. I mean, no one really likes an angry person, right?
신다 파샤네.
Let alone humans, dogs and cats can pick it up when the person's angry. Animals know, they know.
If you're a coward, close the door. 비진 다대용. 와야. 다 제가 먼저 쇠바검 쓰디 당봉은 쇠바스나 갈라고 그래 와 쇠바 세다 베베스나 와 쇠바 세다.
Yeah. So when we talk about meditating on patience, what does this patience, forbearance mean? In the Tibetan language, 쇠바.
쇠바 쓰디다 갈라고 그래서는 아니 지 강에다 동에다 미게다 지 톱제라고 가래 다음에는 되게 수수 쌤데 맞추 버셔야지. 수수 쌤데 시원야 되면 내가 들라 쇠바다 되래. Sebe kodendo do te.
It means that in the face of difficulties, problems, if there's a struggle going on, your mind doesn't get upset. You stay with your mental peace. That is patience.
Sebalabdi chonraje kyobushi dego geja mar khashe de noruda.
Yeah.
Tinde marais.
Some people mistakenly think patience means that you have to take the loss or be like a martyr. It's not like that.
Ta ditola hajange dishe junju chonanzo dinala jangina. Jizu to jongina junju nala haleva be misige gebo sungyore ro.
Now, for those that are interested in studying it, there is a text called The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And in that text, in that book, the explanation on forbearance, patience, is so vast.
Nge tonyon be bejenane nge losumju sosumse bejeloshi deresro. Seba dan chanju simni ko junjugle jewa zemba jinlap chao. Nga tanda lo manyosro.
Now, I've been studying texts, Buddha Dharma texts, for 33 years, and I've never seen better explanations on patience and the uncontrived heart of altruism than is in that text.
Zan duzu be misige ani nuwa chenpo dang kasewo ni ani de yanji jese chenpo shiwala ma zebne je tandage di jigma gyunro de shejun lung gyuro de yongzo pewe nyade yoresro.
The explanations are very powerful, very clear, and the author of that text, Shantideva, the stream of continuum continues to this day, is held by the Tibetans. The reading transmissions and experiential ones still exists to this day.
하딩 언저 점블링 나라 단도 대투나 점블링이 미망고 라 펜도 그랬어.
And as long as that teaching, that doctrine remains, it can benefit the beings in this world, in this universe.
다 단다 드런 유시자지 나라다 학과되어 언저 과래 당당 언저 미 딩상다 미다고 jobu 쉬어래도 jo도 쉬어제 아니 콘도사야들 축축 콘도사도 다 세ven냠레도 전주심 곰 메나 다 딩상베데 미다고 joru 쉬어도도 하다 ngoma midago 딩상 미다고 다게요 말아 미다고 joru도 잘해서.
Yes. So particularly moreover in the 21st century we need this because impermanence is kind of speeded up. People get angry so fast. So in that context, we need patience, we need good heart. In a sense, the impermanence is going so fast now, the rate of change.
제가 디인도 먼저 서버 거미야 되는 배는 다른 먼저 데려봤다 간다. 단도 준준나라 책들이 디어라 단다들 데려봐. 먼저 미망고지게 서버 공라디 스스 초보 좀은 먼저 다 먼저 김장데 relationship 야우면도 능에 초보당에 능미도서 컨트롤 잡아도 다도 컨트롤 매버 써고도 로 미신지 컨트롤 매버 써나 아니 나는 때 기분 용사랬다. 망고지게 미신 먼저 파르베 쫀데 남성 통구도 알아. 미파저 쫀데 남성 통구도 스스 쫀 통구도 알아. 스스 야고이 땡다.
And in terms of meditating on patience, as is stated in that text, a lot of people, what they try to do is try to remove their anger in their loved ones, in their relatives, in their family, by seeing them. But this is the case that it's so easy to see the faults in someone else, but really difficult to see your own faults.
제가 디나라 가르서는 미신이 콘도 매우 마소 승일 수수지 있음 콘도디 매우 스스로.
Being said that before you can hope to remove the anger in someone else's mind, first work with your own. Remove the faults of anger in your own mind first.
단디 책디 지마신 로마서 전다 데려다.
Yeah.
아니 꼬아요는 먼저 롱보 코너나 체마요는 봐.
Leon 디식디 디식.
고스요는 디식지와.
Yeah.
디식디 사딩 탐적고.
하다
거에 갈리셔 전다 데려다.
Right. So essentially,
하고세.
house.
아니 과 룽버코랑 그 과여샤나 가서 과디 갑두고 말아다. 배나 내 거서 먹고 쉬어도 뒤에랑 가서 다 수수 강벌이야. 아니 레더가 슈스지 konje 첸샤베나 안 참아 수고 말아. 어디 베디 디베디 인저 쉬어도 알아.
The example coming from this text is given by way of analogy. It is said that it would be impossible to cover the surface of the earth with leather, but you could cover the soles of your feet with leather. So all of the gorse and all of the prickles in this environment, we couldn't possibly cover it, but what we could do is cover the soles of our feet. Dinangshin.
수수수가 디 수수 콘도메버스 수수 경험해버스. 아 미션을 벤더 쳐다.
So, if you remove the anger in your own mind, if you cultivate forbearance, then you can benefit other.
디르바 제는 디인데 다 티리 먼저 수수 콘도메버스야게 꼼자레스다. 미션을 만들어 수수를 꼼자레스.
So today would be about meditating and dealing with your own anger and not pointing the finger to others.
다 저거이나 정말 그 콘도사게나 내가 샤시로. 내가 샤시로.
So try to leave getting angry or irritable at your partner, at your friends. Just leave that for the minute.
다 지제나 미카시 둔다 직스고 카시 다오지 카시 로지 카시 로주 카시 로뉴슈 된데 거그래 스스 콘도 뉴무단으로 디지링가 예연도서 시다치도 마치세.
Yeah. So some people it might take a week, some people a month, some people a year, some people 10 years, some people 20 years, just to lessen that anger. So up to there, don't look out. Don't look external.
세상다 당보 거라나 먼저 계시디 네 콘도딩 뭐였으면 내려보다 알아.
Yeah.
콘도 뭐였으면 내려보시오래.
Well, firstly, what is easy to recognize is the fact that we do get angry.
디나라 콘도 사모님이 미예외. 배지 부구친지도 콘도 사녀이지 말아. 다 아무것도 안 하면 맞는 콘도 사게.
In this room, is there someone who's never gotten angry? Well, maybe the young person here. Or maybe if they don't get milk at the right time.
네 부구친지도 콘도 사게 먼저 하고 말아.
How do we know if the child gets angry or not? We don't know.
재미있다. 먼저 디나라 콘도 사모님이 점블링나라 먼저 그 로제젤 콘도 사모님이 연나 워르고르다로 워르고르. 야 말하면 요 말이 잘안서 점블링나라 미지 로야 로직니네야 간래 콘도 사모님이 미지 때문에 점블링나라 사람이 가고라. 디 연나다 오네 워르고르.
Yeah, if we were to try and find someone in this world system that's never been angry, that really would be a world record, even if we could find that person who hasn't been angry in the last 1 or 2 years, world record.
예, 점블링나 모터 쪽보다는 워르고르이 있으러. 아니 셰 가서 지지지 나르고르. 그래서 워르고스 개통고야 말이야. 워르고 오네 두저래다. 메제나 콘도 사모님은 워르고르래로.
We tend to measure how fast we can drive or what kind of music we can make records around that. But world record should really be in the context of this life, not having gotten angry.
다디 오네 먼저 최고해지래도록.
Yeah, this is something to go for.
제가 아니 다 컨트롤 가게 있으니 패진 점링나라 요 말이야. 로아 나 컨트롤 가게 있으니 요 말이야.
Then would you ask, are the people in this world that actually say they like anger? They like being angry? Probably not.
지금 안에 통만이라 컨트롤 가면 되으니 나 컨트롤 가게 있으니 다바는 나 컨트롤 차고 미들 가게 있으니 통만이라.
Yeah. So I haven't seen them. People that, say they like being angry. Most people like to be at peace. Even haven't met people that say they like to be.
제가 하고 되는 한저 수수이네. 미지 미 컨트롤 차고든데 토연데 제일 콘도 사원 뭐부터 제일 미리 님도 돼야라 강에 도와라. 돈도 지금도 심게 수부다 우주를 자르나 루 심디 직심 띵에 직시용도 미네.
Yeah.
통이 좋으면도 하고라.
And then if someone's been really angry lately, you have to go with them. Somehow you might not want to go, and you have to push yourself physically to go with them or make an effort to connect mentally, isn't it?
정말로 미 콘도 사원님도 돈이 좋으면도야.
Yeah, all of us don't want to hang out with angry people.
난 돈이 많은 사람들 우스갯는 누구예요?
Sometimes you might not want to go, but you kind of have to push yourself to go.
제가 네가둘라 초천자 쉬어용거든.
It's a strange feeling when you have to do that, no?
천자 쉬어지. 근데 갈라고 했나. 수수다 미 콘도 사원님도 돌아. 심 주변 안에 깨져지 쉬어용거든. 많어.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling because you don't want to go with that person who's so irritable, but you kind of have to have a conversation with your mind and body. Come on, body.
제가 제가 인데 그 란신 코랑 이제 콘도세디 님이 첨부인 바데 낭배주네 콘도 님이 첨부 쉬우시고.
So just from that we can see the demerits of anger, and in Buddha Dharma they talk about that a lot, the faults of it.
다 제가 아니 딩상하게 딩두 체력과이네 딩두 체력과도 좁던데용도 콘도사디상알라 아니 수고게 이뮤 시스템 마스에도도 시제 건저 다 딩상 미데 빠르잡제 되용도 안기 되용도 알아.
Yeah.
콘도 마세베 내가 이뮤 시스템 안기 가가제메 콘도 사자여질라 가져 마칭이메 데 되용도 하다 세부시우다 야부도 하더라.
Yeah. And in the modern level, the scientists, the medical people who study anger's effect on the body's immune system, even like taking a photograph of it, you know how the numbers go up when you're angry, you know.
저는 망부지 야 로치무차디 가서 니마 동니마 이 콘도 망고 산이데 동네 니마 망아요. 콘도 정아 시와에 니마 영어여다.
So as you guys get older, if you're getting more wrinkles, that's a sign you've gotten angry a bit. But if you're free of wrinkles, it's a sign you're kind of a peaceful disposition.
예, 가서 니마 용다 비디발라 도 말이라 빼셔 권청보러 니마디 용다데 수부 동서서지도 텔레도는 빼셔만 오래 콘도 마메스는 빼셔지 되어 말아.
Yeah.
캡상 쉬다.
You put on all sorts of moisturizers to not get wrinkles at the beach. But if you keep a more peaceful heart, you won't get angry and you won't have wrinkles anyway. So you save money.
갈라시 무사라.
It's like you can use that money to have a nice meal.
제가 간대야 오더라. 콘도 용다는 캡상 망고더라.
Yeah, just that being less angry, there's a lot of profit, different profits.
아니 도보 말어도 아니 기대 심이듯이 가보지 그래요.
More friends and the cats and dogs like you.
아유, 제가 예, 응원해다 되는 콘도니 미당 콘도 편연도서 삼로다나 아니 원에다 콘도 매 마스는 디금도 들어와 레그로 뒤쪽에다 연대도 마시나나 그래서 뒤검자를 되발리고 말아라.
Really, it's important, isn't it, to think of the demerits at the outset of anger and benefits of patience. Because if we don't think those things through thoroughly, what's the point of meditation? You know.
당저 통마 아니 군대 검자를 셈바 당부 그래서 셈바마 시바냐 배전식으로 와. 강에 야니 강에 토에나. 오늘 수수쌤 시바데 수직 토도 말해. 수직에 매워서도 말해.
Okay. Now, from the outset, then, one's motivation should be to keep one's mental peace, whatever comes up, be it good or bad. Because once you have stable mental peace, no one can take that from you. No one can upset you.
지금 네 당보다 심 쉬워지가라는 아주 곰 잡다. 그때 곰 잡으면 지금 소트웨어 요마다. 곰 탐람 곰라 되는 지금 샘바 쉬워 소트웨어 촌이 요마다.
Yeah. So then the method for cultivating that mental peace is meditation. There's no other method besides that. Stability of mind.
나도 당보 전화서다 데스 강바도 기름데 아니 개버 동보데 수부대단데 베스 캐천보레스로 다 전화서 사바드스나 둘이데 되자고 그랬어. 일단 곰자데 수부 나서 당도 데스 둘이 자고 다 같이 빼면 해 봐던데는 굽자가야 돼로. 아니 개버데 주 동보 시대 도 당보 곰자데 수부대단데 베 캐천보레스.
So now as we meditate, it's good to pay attention to your posture. So if you're seated on the ground, make sure you are seated upright. And if you're new to meditation, it does require some effort. You have to put in a little bit of effort, and there might be some uncomfortable sensation in the knees. But if it's too bad, sit up on a chair.
그래서 수부대단데 누스기름도 컴바이나 네 수부대단데라 수부기 타 쿠르주티야 돼 레라고 싶지아요.
The reason we have to keep a good posture is because then if the posture is upright, the blood can flow easily.
저는 하고 그래. 곰자도 근데 스테비나 니 구용 그래 깔레카가. 근데 스테는 깨바 나그래로. 근데 데네 깨나. 그것도 되다. 추주망고 잡되나 나요 말에 배 대워용 그래로.
Yeah.
당부대에서 깔래요.
Those of you with experience will know that if you are slouched over forward, you can get dull and fall asleep. If you're too far back, it hurts the back, or to the side, the neck. What we want is to be able to sit easily for a long time with the least discomfort.
나 그도 미망고 등산 미망고 쉬우지 컴퓨터당 카바다기 열어. 되게 그것이 되게 열어. 녹스 대위나 아니 빼면서 루제하고 차기도 하다. 봐.
So these days we're like hunched over the computer or phone, isn't it? Looking at the apps. So, but just to be upright in that posture is great exercise. Now, as before we meditate, we motivate and gently close your eyes. It's better. So as you see Geshe-la, the palms are thumbs touching at the level of the navel, the right over the left. Yeah, so there is that union of the thumbs at the level of the... Yeah, so it's not easy at first, but over time becomes normal, and allowing the shoulders to relax so that the air can pass through, you're relaxed.
아니 고거디 중세 막 배구대 이제 그런 고그런 컨디션 되기도 다른 세션은 아니 하고 싶어요. 아니 미디 단다 믹좀 돼요. 아니 카드베 좀 돼요. 많이 카페 슉 첨부 단데 막 랑버 러시아제 다수수 가래 되고를 좀 되가는 샤. 또 되는 수보디 대보라고 차서는 아니 신들 사무당 거래로.
Okay, so then once again just checking. The hands are relaxed at the level of the navel, right over left. Be aware of the feet and legs, and then the trunk should be upright. And then the head should be ever so slightly forward, eyes on the tip of the nose. You can close your eyes. The mouth, you just leave it at its natural, not too closed, but not too open. Really, one finds one's own level of comfort. And once the body is at ease and balanced, you start to check the mind. Now we bring in the motivation that from today, with my body and speech, I'll do my best just to benefit others, just to benefit them, and motivate that kindness.
예, 다수스 메제나나 강에 야nye dunyi 가르치고는 semba상보딩에 르당면 세 탐자치셔서
Now make the strong resolve or promise to oneself, whatever comes up in this life, be it good or bad, one will not relinquish the kind heart.
예, 다 가와곰로 와당 안주라 tindeegi sem nipa chenpochi tiring yo tang alang sem jeba wadanda sempa sangpochi sem jeba mamba sem jeba sayata sem je
Yeah.
di kawa gomnirwa kawa gomgorda.
Now rejoice that your mind has such a potency. We have that right. We've generated an unconditional kind heart, bodhicitta. Rejoice in that.
Oye, tang longzhonginda longzhongde tang nagunine ushu je ten chu tangyo pa tangyo sheva che chu tangyo sugu nang leyo sugu pa jik dewo ro chölo ro cha ani pa tangyo de su jik sugu tamden yo soro sem nang ngamda tang tokpa tang namdo tende duzu sangwa pa ten song chen ro do si je longzhongde si chi shi as.
Now we're going to do breathing exercise, meditation. So being aware of the breath in and out of the nostrils. Now I'm breathing in, now I'm breathing out. Just recognizing that. And as you breathe in, recognize the well-being of the body. The body is relaxed. And as you breathe out, any physical discomfort is gone. Any mental worry or discursive thought is dispelled. Just recognize that.
그래서 수보 되고차 sembae lhulu chaso thangures.
Think that the body is blissful, the mind is clear, become clear and lucid.
다드네 uktunga destan ta dare dela mig danje mig de no zela maramba
Yeah.
cha jiteor.
Now we're going to do shorter breaths, more shallow or quicker breaths. And at this juncture, open the eyes slightly on the bridge of the nose, slightly down.
다 우주 땅 파 땅게 신기도 나는 아주 장가죠. 다 장가야 주사고 접. 니 줄레스나 아니 마
D'accord.
직사고 접. 레골레스나 아니 셈티 내가로 셈 관데 또 따데 셈 시바 베 잠딩딩 지요래. 너 어디 하고 와치. 셈 시바 디가면 셈네 다다와 셈 다다와 디가면 네 가즈 데든 되나야고.
Now, with those shorter breaths, once you've settled on that, just being aware of inhalation, exhalation, you can begin to count the cycles of breath. So now I'm breathing in, now I'm breathing out. That's one cycle. You count up to 10 of those cycles of inhalations and exhalations. And then you reverse count back down to 1. When you reach to 0, you just recognize the mind's peace, or you place the mind in the present moment of its peace as best as you can.
다 장가 장삼도 샤제 수분나는 가와도도 따제 디스테아스로 좀 파단도 가와도도 수단도 가와도도 수부 차상나는 파 팀베서요 파 uk고랑 uk진도 가나 심샤 디스테아스
Now, leaving aside the counting of cycles, just be aware on the inhalation where the breath dissipates in the body, where it dissolves. Where does it go when you breathe out? Does the breath pervade all of the body or part of it? Here, the breath is inducing the mind. So mind follows breath, mind rides breath.
다 드네 네심 욱 진도라 sembayagu ne tuna ani chi chama phaji simna la namdo chama pha ye ne tong sang sang ro ji ka la la ro tong lang lang ro sang sang ro ji yong gore le ga de su su wen na de la we tin de ne we go ran xin ji ro se we ran xin ji ka she la ni se wa ran shi we ran shi na wa sher ge ro tang zu la tang bo de lam ji yong ma re su me ba che ne su 스부기 들라베 가보란 신지 띵하는 게 샘디 인 천재 디스테이션으로
Latin. So now, being aware of having placed the mind on the breath, just be aware from time to time when the mind dissolves of no thought, this vacuity. At that stage, imagine that body is in the nature of light. And some actually get that appearance of the body and mind being in the nature of light. If you don't get that appearance at once, just imagine that your mind is in the nature of light, white light.
어디 딘데 왜디 아니 신변시에 선바 상보지 천재 다 가도이나 딘데 지 선바 상보디 수 고관한 왜 그런 신지 유된 가도이나 여가 튕기나 아니 배하고 요랬음
Think now that the nature of that white light, your mind, is unconditional kindness, the kind heart, and recall it from time to time that is within you.
아야 당에 단다 건 망고 곰자니 당보도 줄라 강에 지슈지 가려라나 아니 곰자비데 내걸라 암전나라 다다마도 코디상갈 아니 데람사 탕에 곰툭툭도스 마가와 차제 아니 심툭도야 된대 요래 디걸야 아니 심 다다와가나 대야게 탑람 스나레 곰잡다 야 직삼당당지래 와 제시시네 디데생 가실 펜토시 그래서
So for those that are new to meditation, it could be the fact that you hear sounds outside that you might not like, that upset your mind. But there's a method by which you can use those sounds you hear to place you in the present moment.
다 단단한 저 변은 저는 좀 가와잖아요. 다 가르래 변은 지우다로 미게지 셰더로 아니 데 단데 디 베비 기타르 오든데 도와 디 착착랍데도 어디 다 다가랑 곰 미고 제나데 그래 아 당아들 가그면도 말아버체 가래 이네 수수 미고라샤 아니야 디 우중 거는 곰자 그 다다 말아 건데라 아 가그도 가그면도 말아버체 거나 나와샤 거그르 데래 데라 아니 수 마지나나 누고 말아 저한테 다디 곰 잡다 아니 하고 그래 근데 예배 가들라 아니 다든데 여나 곰 잡에 다 여나 야가 여래 가르스나 되게는 심마이
Okay.
뭐시야로 로치기 여봐 티체드에는 다 가져게 곰 망고 잡는데 예나 슬림빌링 다 가져 망고 여베이네 네 스스 곰데 다 익제 단계 여러다 익제 단계 여러다 네 카도 코나 뵙다 뭐네 다 프랙티컬로 뭐네 차로 디인디 상가라네 빼미시 야고 여래 근데 다 가려 여네 가기도 가그면도 여치기여 말이야 네 스스 당고미가 가르가는 지금 다가는 심샤다 그 얘도 그 얘도 그 제도 그 템바 수 맞지나나 당저 때 가서 딩거는 아들 가면 딩에 곰두도 배도 자도 랍데 거라 아니 진짜 셈날 냐데 아니 곰이고 라자래
In that case, whatever sounds you hear, be they birds, human voices, or the sound of a baby, that is the very source. That is it. That is your focus. It should not be the case that you're saying, "Oh, I don't like this. I like this." That becomes your focal object, because if you're really focusing on the breath, then there's going to be no like these things saying, "Oh, I like that sound. I don't like that sound." Because if you're focusing on the breath, then the clinging ceases. When there's no clinging, there's no fault. So in some sense, for the meditator, the more sounds, the better, because that's bringing you back to your focal object of the breath. Over time, what happens is the noises you hear are giving you an exam. An exam. How you are in the present moment. It is not the case that some sounds are good, some sounds are not good. If you are with your breath, by nature, the sounds will dissolve. But the problem is we cling to those sounds. And once we cling to those sounds, we lose focal object.
다디 저는 곰 잡다 하고 그러지라
Yeah, so those that meditate and get experience will come to see that.
곰디 곰망보 잡다네 하고 남산 곰찡일 하고 말다
It's talking about meditating over a sustained period of time. This doesn't come over one or two spurts.
근데 딩상 상월라베 instant 고거라 meditation instant 요마다 데 삼당 그러면
We're in a place where everything is instant in the world. Meditation not like that.
아니 딩상다 어딘데 다 디로 다딘데네 다딩안조다 지 하나도 님돌라다 지 니마지 쇼베 곰자데 잡심바체로
So that the way that we would start the day with the morning motivation and meditation, we have done it.
안 지난서 네 산이나니 뒤져요니에도 나라 파지는 곰잡던데 되는 먼저데 유름나라 샤샤요레스 잔데가 되로 안데라 닝이닝이 가기가기 제 냥자 디 탄데디 곰자디제데 쇼다르시데 스카우트위나 아니 곰시차네 빼야고 요레스로
And today one goes home, and then over the next days, if you'd like to do more meditation practice, you can look at the YouTube video that is on the Chandrakirti website. So you can listen, practice. Then what happens is if you do it over a sustained period of days, it's really good if it becomes habit.
단다 곰게 꾸노디 냐마따바라시 칙디 당부 칙디 하고 그래로 안데 네 된다 삼다 냐마따바래 항상 쇼자 생기 쇼자래 생기 쇼자 Sing shokja.
So then that motivation meditation that we did with those words of benefiting others, it's good to know them and reflect on the meaning. And that is the mind's breakfast.
And breathing meditation is your morning coffee, mind coffee. Yes, if you do breathing, your mind has lots of energy, But not like coffee. Mind coffee is not coffee.
Mind coffee is not coffee.
Mind coffee is more peaceful. And then did 가서 그래. We did what's that? Breathing exercise, right?
Yeah.
Breathing exercise is your planking.
Pancake.
Planking is in 뭐야? 심기 쇼자 빼야 그래.
Yes. That's breaky for the mind, if you're saying.
Similar. 칼라고르다 뭐네로.
Yeah, the mind does need food, right?
칼라고르. 이내야 저런 신나치고 말해요. 건치 묻지는 말해요. 네 요사요 말했어.
But don't be scared, it's not expensive. You cannot buy it.
이런도 하죠. 수화마게를 심기 쇼저 좋아하는 건데 하고. You
can go to the supermarket and say, "You've got any food for the mind here?" And they'll laugh.
데이터 수수수 두두시도 이제 레라오래고 배 소야 레라오래 건쳐버래 다 수스테지 깔레데스 야오래서 두두디스 당고래서.
So make a time. It is easy, it is cheap, but then effort must come. You have to put in some yards.
다드네 먼저 수업 거면 돼. 드린 수업 수수 거면 당보 수수 말한서 다 대신면은 말한서 뭐 콘도 사녀여 봐.
야.
콘도 사녀여 봐디야. 가셔 다 저거도 콘도랑거든 안 배야 그래. 남자하고 그래. 저거들 더 지질라 그래. 남자. 더 지질 다래 나한테 example 하고 싶어라서라. Did you know 콘도랑디야 저 야고도 다 라그라. 다 단다 파 나는 콘도랑스나. 더 지질라 그래. 가르치는데는 아디 단다 콘도디 제기였어. 제가 저랑 그 example 하고 싶을 때서 더 지지 않았어. 라고 그래서.
So then meditating on patience. We all know that we've been angry in the past. And then sometimes your friends upset you with anger. And normally you thank them when they're good. But this time, when they get angry at you, you're going to say, "Thank you so much." Because you got angry at me. I've been searching for an example of someone getting, on my case, someone getting angry, and now I found it. Thank you for that.
다 라고다. 다 laptop 채우래.
Yeah, you can.
막 라이ing 아데 저절레디 미카제 콘도랑송아. 콘도 셔랑송아. 콘도 사마서. 콘도랑거도 그러. 집에 식도자라. 근데 진이 카제 정서 될레디 누절레. 아니 정말 ям로 쳐서 견다들 콘도 사마서 제일 그러나 터지치 경알라디. 콘도랑데 빼편도 정서 라이. 미니스음질랑에 터지치 라이로. 띵하다 콘도 때 중으로 되어 다르제 때 두다. 뭐마도 식도자라나 셈날 지레게 마대지. 기사 미인데 식도자라나 콘도 사금도 당무셔로. 나델레네 미카제 콘도랑스 콘도 사금도 단도 콘도 사주파샤 닝제도 콘도 아치도 콘도 삼바 마진네 식도자던데 루그 남지도자던데 쇼용거래 삼네 셈나나 닝질레용도로 어디 다로 숨지서좀 곰자 베제다에게 되브리샤다 되브딘데 지도다 대도.
I have experience coming to the Dharma Center. You know, sometimes people have gotten angry at me, and the speech has been quite harsh, you know, like bad words. But then in those situations, I was able to be quite relaxed around it. I didn't recourse to anger, and then, I said to those 2 or 3 people later, well, thanks a lot. So I realized that I had a degree of control, because previously, before, that wouldn't have been the case. I would have gotten irritated really fast. But also not alone, not only not get angry, but have compassion for the person, because when the anger comes, the body, they show like a bad physical posture, and that they can't control their minds. So I would have compassion around that. So I think perhaps the 33 years of study and reading the Dharma that's the fruit of that. You got a 33-year-old story, right? Right. So if you want to come tomorrow, the next day, and try me out, come on. In Tibetan, this example, in terms of meditation practice, we would say eat shit, but we won't say that here. It's probably better if we say in the Western context, you go to hell. So let's say someone's meditating and someone says to them, you go to hell, and then they say, oh no, you go to hell.
Immediately, no?
Yeah, immediately they get angry. They said they've been meditating on patience. Then?
Welcome you.
So that's the test you could give to me. I welcome you.
These
days, it seems the people around me are not giving me much chance to get. I'm looking. So if you have friends that are irritable, just send them to me. Just one day, not 2 days. Just send them once.
Maybe you have dog sitting, baby sitting. Maybe I have to angry sitting. You can say, oh, they are monk, they are angry sitting. Maybe your anger is too much for me. Please go there. Yeah, I'm angry sitting. Okay. Things are nowadays: baby sitting, house sitting, dog sitting, cat sitting, lot sitting, anger sitting. We need anger sitting. So, 나 당보들라 네스인데 콘돌레인데 토지치 라워 당보가랑 다가라네 콘도 매우 잘 돌아라.
If you can, be patient and kind of be thankful to the person, then straight away the anger seems to calm down.
너 콘도들레 숙체질라들 난당가 콘도 야와하고 양자 콘도질라.
You could even say, get angry more, get angry more.
If you don't understand clearly, you say, please make me more angry. No? Lawyer. 어딘데서 다디 둔다데 베제 되게 되그래 다니 콘도게디 당무 콘도 수수 콘도 유메다 아니 콘도 사응고도나 콘도 유행 가르데 세우 차음도나 아니 수수 저벌 야 양자 콘도 질란데서 라오거다 라.
So in the context of the week, being aware if you're getting angry or not, what are the circumstances around it, and if you are getting angry, you can thank the person and or ask them to be more angry.
다디 아니 계시 미데 콘도라는 콘도 사금면되나 저랑 봐서 쳐라.
Yeah, if that person gets angry and you are calm and you bear it. It's like you're past. It's okay.
다 드네 비진 dundaji마도 안도 동해 당랭게 서버서 서버고면 먹고요라. 그 다리 비진 안도 뇌질을 치면이 베서 봐야 돼. 그래서 다 뇌바지안이 담다야로 와 치기. 아니 안도 딜러기도 가서 팅상 가서다 팅상치 emotion violence 라로 다 아니 그래서 대 가서 bullying 다 치딩 다 망불라기도
Bullying, yeah.
오늘 신의 수수와 여보이나 아니 그게 요마라 오늘 신의 다 수와 매베이자 아니 찍찍찍 라우다가 람삼 파르니 라우다 파르제다 베 가서라다 천자 시우지 탄예 싸워던데 시우스 망불리게요
Okay, I get you. So then, perhaps in the context of the following week, it would be good to look at, next week we'll look at taking on general sufferings, but this first level of forbearance and patience is being patient in the face of harm, when people directly harm you, okay? So, but even around that, there's so many things like, emotional abuse, violence, bullying, cheating. Really, if we were practicing patience properly, none of that would disturb us. But somehow all these new conventional terms are coming in, bullying, emotional.
세상다 이나다 저한테 냠내치다 아니 뒤월래 영어래 뒤와에는 아니 지메 뒤와티 얘네 뒤와야 라비알라 세부도나 슈구간을 뒤지에 네 비줄라데 메들 대신 뒤래로 하시에라 미 줄라 뒤와티야라 데서 가고에는 슈구간 뒤제 제라 기용나 뒤그래 네 뒤와에나 먼저데 send email 다나에 도와서데 먼저 뒤와
So if you do have questions that come up, if you don't feel like voicing them, by all means, write them down and give them to the interpreter. We can work with the questions. And then you can also email the center if you have questions around anything around the practice.
어디지? 다드네 이게 다르지라고 메시지 가서는 차란스 되나라. 차라동이나 차라동지요 말이죠. 니마 드리네 차라 참샤고로. 오늘다니. 배 수불을 내고 아니 대 등산 차라 공원 첨부로 봐. 아니 바굴에 내고 아니 다 대화디 미다미 대화해야 돼. 야구면도 와들 봐. 그래서 아니 하고디 닥스도 같은데 산이는 더 자원이네다. 사주요 말이죠. 봐. 다음에 제 수수수불을 나온다는 얘기인데 남산제나야 수 응만에 장난쇼잖아 수불을 당겨는 남산제나 야구면도 와. 그래서 데 섭섭치고 그러면 응만가 이제 나가지 닥스 사주어 말라지 콘서 가시 나자라 닥스 되기스라 근데 나자 툭 돼야 되는데 정보라 가지 지난 데 수수수불내단 되게 제래 수부 단단히 근데는 같이 싸우라 거들어 같이 있는 거 닥스 싸우 말해 아니 학바디 니먹으는 니메 자원이네 사지요 말해 니먹으는 곰자요래 니먹으는 탑시 찍이요래 말 탑시 가려서는 니먹으는 내가지 봐 내가지 지난저 나는 내가지 하면 내 최저를 쉬어 먼저 내 신제도 자타야도 내가 빼먹거든 먼저 대로 내가 먼저 그거 지난저 내 신매 난다 뭐뭐 신자 제일 하도 아니 이 자타니도 가든 부모도 가든 빼 전부도 와대 아, 수불라야 배 루고 깔래 카지다. 니면 싸우 말해. 니 그거래.
So then I'd like to say to discourage the use of alcohol, kind of leave it if you can. Doesn't do the body any good. Doesn't do the purse any good. It's expensive. And then it affects our connections with others. And it's the same with drugs. Leave them. There is the occasions that also we become habituated with other types of medical drugs. Then under those conditions, sometimes the mind hallucinates or the mind is not stable. But then, of course, you have to know your own body. But certainly, if the body is healthy, you shouldn't need to recourse to those things at all. And there are some who have to take medication to help them sleep. That shouldn't be the case. In fact, meditation is a good antidote to that. And if that doesn't work, you can do something physical like work in the garden. There's lots of grass and trees here at the Dharma Center. You're welcome to come and cut them. We have a big garden. And if you do that physically, you'll be tired and you'll have no problem sleeping.
이미 사오마라 오늘 사오마라.
Yeah.
이미 춘 사지오마. 장난쇼는 빼도자.
Yeah, it is not good to get used to taking sleeping pills because then it can become a habit.
그래서 니 투부쿠도는 오늘 수부깔래카. 등한서데 저저 파제거라. 사바제거라 배 머리백 소거라. 빼고르디.
A mountain bike.
말에 뭔데 봐. 파 사바. break 소거다 배.
Hello.
배 wishing full and 사게 파.
Make bricks.
The 빼고도 다 돼. 도저히 다 된거네 니고도.
Yeah, so if you want a deep sleep on the Wushifenning land, you can go and make bricks. That's clay bricks. That's a really good way to make you tired.
내가 미디 망부터도 아슬라 아니 구면도 같이 그랬으니 망부도 아니 가시 검자는 팽도 가시 검자는 팽다 아니 수수 사야다 통야라 대해서 더 버스 저거다 인공사네 저런서 만져다 하고 내가 산산라 지금 커피에다 용다라 이래들 단다디 블랙티드 산산이 먹고 지기도 하러
Yeah.
나한테 자가게 잘 가봐서 정말 찡이 되는데 제가 자가 차던 건당아니 정말 라자 아니 검자지 돼. 니 먹는 지우다. 니 sen생아 검자인데 니 먹는 빼야보다. 심대게 믿어라야.
Then a lot of people have approached me saying that they're having problems sleeping. Well, for some people, meditation helps to that. Some not. Then, of course, you are aware, you have to be aware of what you eat and drink. The strong coffees, or even in some cases, the tea, the black tea with the caffeine. That happened to me in India. When I had very strong tea, I couldn't sleep all night. So I just meditated. That was okay.
전화가는 검잖아. 왜 거기서 못 알아?
Yeah.
씨발. 가서 지우도도 니고 돌아. 미도도 니고, 지우도도 니고. 검 오늘 거기서 뭐 검자고 이나 저런 스티디인데 예 부다는데 제 강해요. 근데 전화가는 검자라. 니 먹으나 신대장 아니 그거도 신대장 검자 되다. 니 랭으로.
Yeah, the nighttime can be good for sitting, for meditating. The birds have gone to sleep, so have the humans. It's quite peaceful. There's no tasks you have to do. And then sometimes with that pretext of meditating, you do fall asleep.
Some of you may be not sleeping, everyone's sleeping their way up. They go la, whatever. burning better. Nowadays, very good. Very expensive, less burning, less sound. Yeah, it's positive, you know. It's positive. I'm looking at this. Everyone say, oh, Buddhism. Okay, now we less hear motorbike, less sound. Oh, the sound sometimes benefit. Lots of young people burning, you know. Before we don't have, we have two young men burning better, you know. What the benefit? I don't know. Burning better. $5, $10, $5. In India, there one big whatever boo 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 boo.
Yeah.
We say boo 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 one sound. You know, one river. 100 boo, 100,000 burning. Similar like that, and then
one can always have a positive view of anything. Even Ukraine and Russia, you can think positively. You might be amazed. How do you think positively around that?
Yeah, the thing was, 단단한서 미망고치기 뒤중한서 코비드라 심대시고 치고어봐. 심상만 디간 대대로 봐. 심대당 감라이디 아니 나자 매나 나자 쇠샤고 생겨와 다단다 디 심데디 야제 창말로 유그렌당 데 유그렌 미망고 강에도 와가지고 심델 두고도 알아 말아야 돼 두고도 알아 도인자 아니 가서 데 나자디 또 삼로다니 매버인자 나자 마 매버차로 거다 지금 딥 가서 디 유그렌당 라시아를 터치 체스라고 콘조다 지나는 인자 콘조 다 개지주에 돼 유그렌당 미시 쪼고 부부인데 막고 시로 더저 빼셈바 쪼래 이내다 콘조 마 잡아디 간디 잠블링기 미상메 심데 데 유르와 주디 상할은 아주 고빌단 줄 심데치니 요마다 제디 상할은 아주 디 나자디 심기 누버디 파 당샤데 다 워리디 매샤데 아주 나자 뉴르 도야디 콘조 거네다데 딩에 나라 딘데지 리에팅도 이나 고연이디 이미 하모거와
There might be something to the fact that we humans tend to make problems worse than they are by worrying about them. In the context of COVID, we've paid it so much heed. But now that Ukraine and Russia has come up in the context of difficulties there, the war there, the suffering there, we tend to focus on that more now, and there's less concern about COVID. Well, in a sense, COVID seems to be going down, doesn't it? But if we look at the situation in Ukraine, it is a situation of great compassion. We should be concerned about the people that are dying, the people that are in pain. But our minds are kind of like changing in that regard because we're focusing on them. Perhaps we're less fixated on COVID, so we can almost say, well, thank you to those people for that.
당주 디인디 제jelngo melna yago chiyo 당주 ngone 단다 mel남 자미시 요머레와
Yeah.
그 치도와데 단다 mel남자는 편도 요래 돼라 예 오늘 mel남자 mel나 야고 시켜라
Yeah, so in that sense, we should pray for that situation. You know, what actually, there isn't probably a lot we can do, but what we can do is pray. It has great benefit.
근데 내 저랑도 미도하지 벤조이니나 네 건설 벤조이신데자 아니 둘로라고 근데 다 갈라도 되네로 두고 있냐면은 근데 네게 직스지든지와 둘로 줘보던데 네게 직스지든 잡든 대표적인 미직을 팬도는 더러와
Yep.
먼저 치도해야 되면 치마도 해야지라 아직 망보 써야 돼 먼저 치도해야 내가 마셔야 되는 아니 팬도면도 안 망보지던데 차로거다 셰우 주나 땡 시부시부지 스스 틸레 요새들라 저런 라촌의 추구가 말이다. 근데 중국민도 와다.
And what one can do, if one can contribute wealth, if they need it, those people there, well and good, be it clothes. It's unlikely we could send food, but even to benefit one person with wealth or clothes could be good. It is much more important to do what one can than to worry about what one cannot. And in that sense, you know, you might fixate on people very far away and neglect those close to you. That'd be a mistake.
다 드네 드린 건다 한다 뒤에 간소다 님의 공기다 곰자 다 제곰스나 될 금전 삼는 단계네 곰자야 들어와 주 콘도칸의 중도다 밀 펜도 갈체고도 나라 창동부이나 펜도 가르도 제메 창망부동부이나 아라망부동이나 리바 매베차나 아니 되게 동산 되게래와 제메 리바 매베 다 전화 리바 데미지 레스 되게 암절 거니 되거든요 동나 되게래다 로
So tonight, you know, in the context of tonight, when you do a reflection or like an analytical meditation, one can reflect. Okay, so what are the causes and conditions that make one angry? And things like around alcohol, what are the demerits of drinking it? That it can affect your health, that it can affect your liver. If you want to lose your liver and keep drinking, that's fine, but otherwise think on it.
When I was young, I smoked. My father very strict, and he is very smart, you know. And he said, and one day, one man, he is lost smoking. He passed away. I think he is very young age. And integrated the people body given birth, right?
Yeah.
Color the girl, watch the child take body.
Oh yeah, in Tibet they offer the corpse to the vultures.
And then my father went there, he's having, and after he said, this person lung is similar chimney,
Chimney.
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 Yeah. And he said, if you want your lung chimney, you can smoke it. Then I immediately stopped. He said, if you want the lung become chimney, you can smoke. I can give you money. No, I don't want to go chimney. If you want to drink alcohol, you lost your liver, you can drink. Okay. Don't worry. You don't want organ. Your choice, right? 세상은 저 당분에 뉴뉴간에 째나 야보다 비즈 찍네 고추고요 사야 돼 가위 찍네 고추고요다 죽사야 돼.
We start with less, isn't it? 1 cup, but then it starts from 1 cup, kind of like that.
I mean, in Bilinim they have one addiction happening. They have Bilinim, alcoholic, alcoholic having this one group. They do fundraising once a year. I went this. I really like this support. There one man, he's talking story. He's lawyer. And he said, first mistake, 1 glass one. First mistake, 1 glass one. And he has very nice job, lawyer. And he has very nice wife and 2 children. He have house, everything's perfect life. And his friend said, 1 glass doesn't matter. I drink 1 glass. And next day, 2 glasses, no, doesn't matter. 3 glasses doesn't matter. And then he said, doing 4, 5, 6. Then he drank. Then he has every Friday night. Then on and. Then he lost fast his wife. She didn't go on. He can't. He's drank, become angry, lost mess house. Then they need safety. They already lost wife, lost children. Then lost job, lost house. And he sleep in the car 1 week, and he nearly tried suicide. And no better in the car, just stuck somewhere. And one truck driver stopped there. What are you doing? And he talking truth. And truck driver said, if you want to really go to stop, try to better person, I can put you better. You can go coach the building. He's cautious. And he said, I must go. And then truck driver put better and give some $50. And he come to Billinim and he starts try to stop. 3 years he training. After that, he become normal and he got job. He was coming back. He children coming back. This I heard, in Billinim. And then you stop 1 glass, okay. 1 bottle. Some people looks a little bit cool. This is not really cool, bottle. I think this is not really cool. No. 그래서 시담도 잉시우 찍더라.
Yeah.
시담으로 냐제 키비드지 시우 제가 찍다. 잉 말해 돼.
Yeah. It seems to be a big deal, or cool, to hold the bottle.
이제네 제가 대대 개좀 뭐 쇼래잖아요. 뭐는 제가. 근데 대체 근데 내 건다 많이 가라고라다. 디는 수수 내가 먼저 매진하는 논도 용거래. 양타과지 용토예요 말해. 아니 수수 다들 논도 쳐서 디딩마서 교샤제. 아니 딜에 산인행아 된데 지금에 다들 낭배중에 바지 타과지에 피부케이션 지에 근데 요래. 근데 논도 쳐서 저도 찍 타과라고 지 부다 제사는 야야 상당 말해 봐. 근데 요 말해. 교샤지도 제 샤도 샤오래 되라.
And in at the evening, if you reflect on things that you've done, mistakes might have come. That's fine. We're not perfect in the context of this life, but it is good to regret those mistakes. And certainly within Buddha Dharma, there are methods to purify misdeeds, the strongest of which is regret. Once you've regretted something, just leave it. Don't keep going over it. Don't bring it up in your mind again and again. It's gone.
다디네 수수 개와체 곰자 밀편도체 난 두균 창동이나 창제 봐 안에 닥스징이나 닥스제 근데 저도는 빼면서 야고로 와 빼야고로 먼저 대바 차래 해야물다 마음 바랑하면서 메제수수 메제데 지 설려지 내수 되어지 깨토이나 수수 파마 빈자도 가고 수수 초보초모도 가고 연구를 봐 수수 원에 가고 원에 간이 미디 수수 기우여나 가보용 그래. 수수 동해나 가보요 말해. 가보용 거 말해. 대미리 수수를 짜와요 따라. 어딘지도 이렇게 해주면 쉬어로다 하더라.
And then in terms of the virtuous side, if you've like done good things, have a relaxed mind and do those things, and you've dealt with things that have been difficult in the past, if you've had problems with alcohol or drugs and given them up, that's past. What we have to take care of now is the present moment, because it is in dependence on the present moment that our future comes to be. So in that sense, helping others, being a relaxed mind, then you'll be a nice person to be around. That's what people want.
아, 당연히 개와사셔와디 mellam ngwa mellam yoche 안아서 단다 저런저 투주 땅데 니 제바디 저 년바디 년배 편 셰벌 셰베 편이 아니 마 되게 줄니를 주베 편 저래 대상 마생 가서 상말라고 셈바상고 chanju기 셈 깨지지 개와디 하랑 소남 랍 첨부 쇼지 사여라 소남디 예디야 ngwa doctor surgeon de zamling 시디야 로 zamling 아니 도와 심제 탐제 룰나 자면 심라 디기야 난 하과르데 단다디 중외 뉴즈도 시야 내무 투즈요 다 요그랜데 마도 주는 뉴드파 아니 시야 다디 시야가 탑실라 아니 다 도스게 심바딩 오네 이나면은 간시데 푸딩게 스웨션 요스르 도와셔서 그 타제나 베지 최베스르 도와다 그 심라다 자월리 그 심라 자와 요래 티야 여제 쳐로 도제 자와딜 바 심지 신 탐제 나랑 대화 나시 심지 신 대화 되어 나랑 동에 메든 심지 신 동에 메되어서 디코심라 여나 안 코마 여 말에 코심라 단다데 여 말다 자와 여다 여래 동에 텐데 자와 이나데 코들 상담지 여다 나랑데 네 딜라 디지 거래서 나랑 가보디 jel미시 나랑 가보면 저디 유쇼스다 그 상담 쉬우지 체제이데
Okay.
네 매버 차야 닝지 제도야 뱀멜람 배 숙청뭐지 잡투나 배하고 용서레스 안되네요 지 나자데 존은 유디시야 로 나자데다 녀로서 단다 대도로 아니 담링 참모 파주 노마나시 시뱅안에 파주 코주도 투야 니지 르라데 이제 사카시 메메니다 면주고고요 오늘 가요 말에 칼라면이 칼라 둘로 말하니 둘로 아니 초보 초모 카테니 될수 초보 초모 두야 파무빈자 카테니데 파무빈자 투야 그래서 강에도 다 파무빈자 카드베 동에디 다 말라 세우 쉬어져 당가나 파무빈자 카테베 인자 동에 쉬어져도 어디 레라오 민도 알아 두zu 파메베 시야 근데 그러면 야고 시작하지 내게는 막 지카제스도 저런서 곰 잡쇼스로 심띵네 곰 잡는 칙도나 마드나 다 그랬다
So then the virtues that we have accumulated together today, because we've gathered together, those benefits we should collect and dedicate them. That I've said some words, they've been interpreted, you have listened. Just meditating for one moment on bodhicitta, the uncontrived altruism for all beings, has a tremendous power, wave of deed. We collect that. We dedicate that to world peace, of course, that there are no disputes and that beings have kindness in the heart. Then, of course, there are these elemental disturbances in the world, isn't it? May they be pacified. Fire, earth, air, water, and so forth. And, of course, talking about peace in the context of what's happening in Ukraine, well, in one sense, it does seem to be a lot in the hands of one person's decision. So, for example, Putin, the beings, the person does have the potential for love, definitely within, but seems to have lost that border, where you make a border and you say, because really, if you really understand love, it is the fact that just like you, all beings want to be happy. Just like you, no one wants to suffer. And if you really understand that beings, other beings are just like you in that context, the mind will never want to fight. But somehow seems to have lost that discrimination. In that sense, is an object of our compassion. We should pray for that. And then there is this COVID thing that has created trouble, isn't it? So may the world go back to being like it was when we could travel, when we were free. And then in that context, there are those that need medicine for the body, may they find it. Those that need food, may they find food. Those that need clothes, may they find that. But most importantly, in terms of human relations, may friends meet each other and not be separated. May loved ones not be separated, particularly parents and children. This is a particular suffering I have experienced personally. It is not easy to be separated from loved ones. So please, I will say a few verses to that end and dedicate mentally. It's not important that you recite things, but the main thing is your mind.
선언의 단계에서 거의 건방도 진행으로는 가다나다 치외로는 세배달래로 하죠. 겨와디 뉴드다 라마선유도 저 지자만요. 디에서라고